Yakhni. If you're from North India, I'm sure you must have heard of this sauce a lot. We Kashmiris use it for both veg as well as non-veg. This is Kashmiri Al Yakhni or bottle gourd yakhni. Amazing for vegetarians, but maybe you can make a version for vegans as well with coconut yogurt. Yakhni, and this version is the vegetarian one. And unlike the meat version, this does need a thickener, and we'll come to it in some time. Yakhni is actually the sauce, and you could use a fair amount of vegetables into that sauce. Two of the most popular ones are bottle gourd, or Lauki as we call it in Hindi, and also lotus roots. That's very traditional in Kashmiri cooking to have lotus root yakhni. I couldn't get any, so bottle gourd yakhni it is. To start this, you need to have some mustard oil for deep frying. I've smoked this mustard oil, which basically means I've just heated it till the smoke dissipates and takes away all the urea or the bitterness. Then you just let it cool before you turn it on again and deep fry some of this lauki. So I'll start deep frying this lauki, and then we'll get started with the yakhni sauce. I've overcrowded my kadhai, but you could possibly go a little lesser. What you're really looking for is just deep frying it until the vegetable is cooked and has a little bit of color to it. This method in Kashmiri cooking is called kraipak, which means braising in a kadhai. It was an ancient technique that's been used in lieu of a pressure cooker, because what it does is it cooks the dish, meat or vegetable, all the way through. And then when you put it into the sauce, because of the way it's been braised in oil, it soaks up all the goodness of that sauce really well. I love deep frying in mustard oil. It is such a strong childhood memory for me. I remember back in the day when we would have feasts at home, or there would be any celebration, grandma, mom, they would be in the kitchen frying away nadrus, which is lotus root, or damalus. Everything was fried in a kadhai using mustard oil. And the smell that I'm getting now takes me right back to that 10-year-old, 11-year-old me, waiting in that anticipation of wonderful meal that's going to come at the end of the cooking. As the lauki or the bottle gourd is frying, we'll get ready with the yakhni sauce. Making the yakhni, as we call it, for vegetarian dishes is slightly different. You could use these techniques to make sure that your sauce does not split. That's what happens to most of the people. And in this case, because we're not using collagen from an animal, we're using a vegetable, we need to put a thickener. So I've got some yogurt in here. I'll put in some dry ginger powder and fennel powder. I will season it just a little less than what I need with salt. The essence of any good yakhni sauce is the zergul masala, as we call it in Kashmiri, or fine masala, which is our garam masala. It's important that your garam masala does not have any chilies or coriander in it, because they're mere fillers. Traditional Kashmiri cooking does not use chilies or coriander in the garam masala. So I'm going to use my Spice Angel garam masala for this sauce. I'll also use about a tablespoon of rice flour. This is what will give body to the sauce, and just whisk it all in. I'm using Greek yogurt here. Again, the intent is to just bring all of these flavors together, and then once we have our sauce ready, or once we have our vegetable stock ready, which we'll come to in a while, use that to warm this sauce up, or warm the yakhni up, and then get ready cooking. So my yogurt is done. I reckon we're pretty much there with the deep frying of the bottle gourd as well. It's got these beautiful specks of brown on it. It looks a little curly, and almost like dried out because of the frying. And that's the ridges turning into this leathery sort of skin is what you're looking for. You don't want to really go far with it. It is a very, very delicate vegetable. I'll take these out. This dish could also be a vegan's delight. Hey, but you could try it with coconut yogurt and let me know what the results were. Now, to making the sauce, I'm gonna get a deep pot going. Just toast some whole dry spices, khade masala as we call it. Some cardamom, cinnamon, a bit of bay leaves and cumin. That is plenty. Now we're going to use the oil that we used to fry the vegetables to cook our dish as well. Just a couple of tablespoons of this oil, and we'll let these spices sizzle away. In goes the lauki, or the deep fried bottle gourd. And we'll just wash this vessel with a little bit of water to kind of create a very thin stock. We'll just wait for this to boil a little. At this stage, you could season it. Add a tiny bit of asafoetida or hing. And who could say no to some amazing garam masala? The stock is boiling. I know it might be weird for some of you, particularly the ones who know this dish, that I'm calling it stock, but that's how everyone understands it. And that's possibly the best way to explain it. You take some of this hot sauce from here and put it into the bowl and just mix it in. It's very similar to making a crème anglaise or custard. You're bringing up the yogurt's temperature and making sure that once it goes into the sauce, it does not shock and split. This is the best way, if your recipe calls for using yogurt, to ensure that you get the best from that yogurt and it does not split. We'll do it in stages. You may have to do it 2 to 3 times, but the moment it feels a bit warm to touch, you're pretty much ready. At this point, cut the heat out of the pan. The yogurt in your bowl will almost turn fluidy, but it's gonna thicken, I promise, because of the rice flour in it. I've got the yogurt now into this. Mix it all in, and you can see it's almost immediately started to thicken. I'll turn the heat back on. We'll let it boil and thicken a bit. It's slowly coming up to heat. To finish this dish off, we need to just cover it, let it cook on a gentle heat for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're ready to eat.